We're in one of the most stunning locations in Davos, right below the Magic Mountain. And joining us now on India Today is one of the most promising politicians of Pakistan, Benazir Bhutto's son, Asif Ali Zardari's son, Bilawal Bhutto. Welcome. This is his first interview to Indian news media. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
It's a beautiful location. You have the prettiest view in town. How has Davos been for you so far?
Davos has been an amazing experience. This has been my first trip to Davos, and I find it such an amazing opportunity to have genuine discussions and an exchange of ideas. As you may know, I spoke on this panel about fake news versus real politics, which I think is a really interesting topical topic. We spoke at the first counter-violent extremism event held at Davos. I co-hosted it with someone else, and I think that was really, really important. And I'm so glad that Davos has taken that step to address such an important issue.
Your mother was a big Davos sensation, and they're all welcoming you back after a long time. What's your sense of India-Pakistan relations at this time? Given all the troubles our countries face, sitting where you are in the opposition in Pakistan, how do you view the India-Pakistan relationship?
Well, I think it's plain for everyone to see that the Indian-Pakistan relationship isn't at its best at the moment. But I think that despite hostilities at both sides and genuine complaints, ultimately stand that the only solution is peace. We just have to figure out a way to get there.
Okay, what would you like to do if you had an opportunity in the coming elections to reset the equilibrium, to work on the India-Pakistan relationship? What would you like to do?
Look, I think there's things that need to happen on both sides. We need to understand that when we look at India in Pakistan, we look at it through the eyes of the Pakistani media, and when Indians look at Pakistan, they look at it through the eyes of the Indian media. I think the best way forward would be for us to look at a more median approach and take smaller steps on both sides to see how we can take confidence-building measures and build towards a process where we can start having a discussion.
All of this has been tried, Bilawal, in the past, on multiple occasions.
With all due sincerity, I feel that the way India and the rest of the world approaches it is they think that they can just dictate to Pakistan how to do things, and that's not how a partnership works or builds. You have a conversation about what the reservations perhaps Pakistan may have with India, and India will also have reservations about what's going on in Pakistan. You have those discussions not in public in front of cameras, you have those discussions behind closed doors. Unless that sort of situation is created, you have to understand in Pakistan for us, just as certain individuals may cause anxiety to the people of India, you have to understand the rise of Hindu nationalism recently in India, a perception within Pakistani media that India is moving away from that secular image also makes the Muslims of Pakistan insecure. So we have to understand that both of us come at this through with anxieties, but the ultimate solution is only sitting together and finding peace.
But the reality also is there are elements within Pakistan who don't seem to like the idea of peace with India. Our Prime Minister, soon into his term in office, in a very dramatic move, came to Ravin, met your Prime Minister at that time, and immediately after that there was a big terror attack in Pathankot.
Sir, your Prime Minister has been elected by the Indian people, and I respect the Indian people's mandate. His image in Pakistan after the incidents in Gujarat are not very positive. In the age of social media, you can't hide what's happening in Kashmir on either side or what's happening in Pakistan. But for the social media in Pakistan to be seeing bullet-ridden bodies in Kashmir makes these sort of situations difficult and actually would need state-to-state cooperation. Mr. Modi's trip to Pakistan, while perhaps intended to send a positive sign, by going to Mr. Sharif's wedding engagement and not following it up with any sort of state cooperation sends the image that they're just showing that they want to have peace, actually aren't taking the concrete actions necessary.
But what else could he do? For example, you've got an Indian Prime Minister coming to Pakistan, making that grand overture. Realistically speaking, that is what the Prime Minister could have done. He thought out of the box, tried to make something happen, and yet we saw how Pakistan responded. Because what do you think? Mr. Bhutto, about the likes of a Hafiz, about the likes of
So
a
I
Hafiz
disagree.
Saeed. Yeah.
If you look at the initial reaction to Mr. Modi's arrival in Pakistan, it was positive. Opposition parties even invited him. When it turned out that he was only there to attend the wedding and there wasn't going to be any concrete steps taken towards an actual dialogue, then the reaction was very different, because a personalized relationship is not going to solve nations' issues.
What kind of politician do you hope to be? Because you've had many generations of your family in politics. You've seen your father, you've seen your mother. How would you like to calibrate your politics? What kind of politician do you want to be?
I feel like Pakistan needs a genuine progressive voice, a progressive alternative to the populist, hate-driven politics of the two other mainstream political parties. The Pakistan People's Party has always been a progressive force in Pakistan, and I feel that that's the way forward, and that's the sort of politician that I'd like to be.
You know, who do you think of as your principal adversary in Pakistan? Do you think it's going to be Shahbaz Sharif? Do you think of Imran Khan, who calls you baby Bhutto? He said, who's your principal adversary?
I don't really look at it in terms of adversaries. I'm doing this for the people of Pakistan, and I'm doing this because I believe I'm following the mission of my mother. Mr. Shahbaz Sharif and Imran Khan have their own reasons for doing politics, and you know what they say: if they can't fault you on the issues, if they can't fault you on what you've done, then they, you know, fall to the level of resulting to child schoolyard insults. So that's all I have to say on that.
So do you see a lot of comparisons with Rahul Gandhi in India? In some senses, you've been thrust into this job, his mother too, handing over to him recently the position of president of the Congress party. Do you see a comparison?
Obviously, I can't take any partisan view with politicians in India, but I can say that it's always positive to have young politicians finding a space in national politics. I think it's about time that the younger generation come forward and we have some new ideas and a new way and new solutions.
No, but how would you deal with the issue of dynasty? How much of a problem is it in Pakistan for people to say, "Arey ye to bacha hai. He's there because of his mother. What does he know about how to run Pakistan?"
Well, absolutely. I don't know how much it works in India, but as you know, in Pakistan, my mother was assassinated. I didn't choose this life; it chose me, and the people of Pakistan support me. They elect a political party that has me as the chairman. They come to my rallies. They do the things that obviously other people have the right to oppose me, but I would like to think that they oppose us on policies, on genuine issues like we do other political parties.
So what does Bilawal Bhutto do when he's not doing politics? I heard you're a black belt in Taekwondo?
That was a while ago. I was a black belt in Taekwondo before I do politics. Now I sleep, eat and breathe politics. At the moment, you know, we're heading into election seasons in Pakistan. Though, inshallah, in 2018, the Pakistan People's Party will be right back in the driving seat.
Do you enjoy politics, or is this something that's been thrust on you?
It's absolutely something that has been thrust on you, something that I didn't, as I said, I didn't choose, it chose me. But at the same time, for a son to be working towards what he believes is his mother's lifelong mission, I found great motivation and solace in that.
Okay, tell me, how would you deal with the Pakistani army and its relationship with India?
What do you mean? The Pakistani army is my army. And it doesn't have a relationship with India. The Pakistani state
No,
will
they
have a
keep
relationship.
messing with us and poking us and firing
Messing with you, I'm sorry, you mess and poke with us as a state. And the Pakistani army needs to fight the terrorists. We need a strong, capable Pakistani army to defeat terrorism in Pakistan. And it does not serve my purpose or my country's purpose for me to in any way criticize or diminish my brave armed forces while they're battling extremism in Pakistan.
What do you make of Donald Trump attacking Pakistan in a whole bunch of tweets he's put out? He's now calling out Pakistan, saying that you play a double game, that you've got the Haqqani network, which is sheltered by the army. You've also got Lashkar-e-Taiba, which your army nurtures. What do you make of Donald Trump and what he's saying about
I don't think he even said that. He had one tweet on Pakistan where he got the figures wrong. I don't think Mr. Trump wanted to give the impression that America doesn't pay its debt. And the Coalition Support Fund is not aid to Pakistan, it's the money Pakistan is due for the work already done fighting terrorism. As I said before, if we actually want to find a solution, then we have to sit together and find a solution. If you want to do populist politics like Mr. Modi or Mr. Trump does, then we're never going to end extremism or terrorism. Yes. You have to focus on the issue. You have to focus on actually countering violence, extremism and defeating terrorism. We're not even having a conversation on how to counter violent extremism. And you know why? Because counter violent extremism is isn't Islam Pacific. You have extremists of every religion. You have extremists in Myanmar, you have extremists in India, you have extremists in America, and you have extremists in Pakistan. So not only do we have to defeat terrorism, we also have to conversation about combating extremism.
You don't seem to like Prime Minister Narendra Modi very much. He is India's most popular politician in many decades.
Sergey, as I said, I can't take partisan positions on Indian politicians. There have been many politicians in the BJP that I respect. I have appreciated the work they've done or attempted to do towards peace towards Pakistan. Unfortunately, some politicians choose to do more populist, more hate-driven politics, feed off the negative emotions of people, split communities on ethnic, religious lines, and I don't believe that's positive for any country. That's not positive for my country or India.
He's winning election after election, Bilawal.
Fair enough, but is winning what's important? Is doing the right thing what's important? And I think India will decide in its history, when the history books are written, who did the right thing.
Extremism is a big problem in Pakistan. How would you deal with that?
Extremism is absolutely an issue in Pakistan, but what we're doing at the moment is highly focused on the kinetic element, on the military element. Pakistan had come up with a national action plan which had a more holistic approach, which addressed all our sort of issues within society, hate speech, a whole structural reforms of FATA and things that we need to get done, and that's the way forward for Pakistan to deal with its extremism. But I also believe we have to look at our curriculum, we have to look at what we're teaching our kids, what we're tolerating in society, not only in Pakistan but also in India. We can't tolerate prejudice, we can't tolerate misogyny, we can't tolerate discrimination, we can't tolerate hate. And if we don't tolerate these things, then there won't be any space for extremism.
Well, you've spoken passionately. This is also your first interview to Indian media, so I'm going to let our viewers make up their minds on what Bilawal Zardari Bhutto has just told us. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Bilawal.
That's such a